All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to talk about an idea that pretty much flips everything you've ever been told about your career on its head. We're going to explore why playing it safe might just be the biggest risk you'll ever take, and how to embrace the idea of falling forward.
And Nelson Mandela just nails it with this quote, right? Especially when you're starting out, there's so much pressure to just play it safe, to not rock the boat. But your passion, that thing that really drives you, you're not going to find it in your comfort zone. You find it when you push yourself and risk falling flat on your face.
So let's get into it. Let's tackle that one big piece of advice. You know the one that we all get. It sounds so responsible, so smart, but it might actually be the very thing holding you back.
I mean, come on, you've heard this a million times, right? Have a plan B. It always comes from a good place, from people who care about you. But what if that safety net isn't a net at all? What if it's actually an anchor, keeping your ship from ever leaving the harbor?
And this right here, this is the whole game. It's a total mindset shift. The old way of thinking tells you to prepare for retreat, to fall back. But this new way, it's all about learning how to fall forward. One is about avoiding failure. The other is about learning from it. Huge difference.
And Denzel Washington just says it perfectly. This is the core idea, right here. It's about taking life head on. When you fall forward, every single mistake, every stumble, it doesn't stop you. It gives you a new perspective. It's new information that you can use to get back up and try again, only smarter this time.
Okay, but what's the real cost of always playing it safe? What's the downside? Because it's way, way bigger than you think. It's not about the money you might lose. It's about the person you never become.
Just think about that for a second. This question is wow. It completely changes how you think about risk, doesn't it? The real risk in life isn't that you'll try something and fail. The real risk is that you'll get to the end, look back, and be haunted by all the things you were too afraid to even try.
So what are these ghosts? Well, they're all those what-ifs. You know that business idea you talked about but never started? That skill you always meant to learn? That dream you put on a shelf for someday? They're the ghosts of who you could have been.
So, how do we avoid those ghosts? We need a totally different game plan. Not a fall-back plan, but a fall-forward philosophy for everything we do. So here it is. This is what falling forward is all about. Look, nobody likes to fail. It stinks. But this isn't about enjoying it. It's about accepting it as part of the price of admission for doing anything meaningful. Every no you get, every dead end you hit, it's not the end of the road. It's just a sign pointing you in a new direction.
Okay, so how do you actually do this? It really breaks down into three big ideas. First, you've got to take risks. Give yourself permission to try stuff that might not work. Second, dream big. Don't put a ceiling on your ambition. But third, and this one is absolutely critical, you have to set goals. Because a dream without a goal is just a wish. It's the goals that turn your big dream into an actual plan.
You know, it's easy to talk about this stuff in theory, but let's look at some real-world examples, because this is where it gets really powerful. These are people who understood that failure is nothing more than data.
All right, check out this number, 2,600. Any guesses what that is? It's the all-time record for strikeouts in the history of baseball, held by the Hall of Famer Reggie Jackson.
But here's the thing. Nobody talks about the strikeouts, do they? We remember the home runs. The lesson is so clear. If you want to hit it out of the park, you have to be willing to swing for the fences. And that means you're going to strike out a lot.
Okay, how about this number, 1,000? That's how many times Thomas Edison's experiments for a working light bulb failed. But you know what he said? He didn't fail 1,000 times. He successfully found 1,000 ways that didn't work. Every single so-called failure was just another piece of the puzzle, one step closer to finally getting it right. That is falling forward.
And this last story, man, it's just unbelievable. So get this, 30 years ago, Denzel Washington bombs an audition at a specific theater. But he didn't give up. He didn't avoid that place forever. He kept learning, kept preparing, and then, decades later, he wins a Tony Award on the exact same stage where he failed all those years ago. If that isn't the definition of falling forward, I don't know what is.
Okay, so we've seen these incredible stories. We've talked about the big idea. Now, let's bring it all back home. What does all this mean for you? I want you to really, really let this quote sink in. If you're not failing, you're not trying. It's that simple. A life with no failures isn't a success story. It's a story of never leaving the shore. You can't discover new oceans if you're afraid to lose sight of the land.
And look, this is bigger than just your own success. Playing it safe, it doesn't just hold you back. It holds the world back from getting what only you can offer. Your unique ideas, your passions, they're needed out there.
So this is where we'll leave it, with one last question for you. If you want a life you've never had, you've got to do things you've never done. So, what's your something? What's that one thing you've been putting off? Whatever it is, that's your first step to falling forward.